You don't need anybody's pat on the back. You don't need anybody to tell you or give you permission. You have to get to that place where you see your dream on the inside. You have your message crafted on the inside, and then you allow it to come out. This is so important because until you can get to that space, you're not really going to release your story. You're going to always say, well, nobody gave me a chance, or I'm scared. Your story is important and it matters to somebody. Greetings, and welcome to When the Moment Chooses You. I am your host, Coach Charlene, and I'm so excited to be here again with you today. On the last episode, we really got into talking about finding your voice. And so your voice is so powerful. Remember, I shared a quote by Diana Hardy, and she said that one voice at the right pitch can create an avalanche. In other words, when you find your voice and you begin to start releasing it, that ripple effect, that butterfly effect will begin to start happening. And those that are attached to your message, to your call, will begin to start finding your voice and coming and gravitating toward you. But you may ask, well, how do I find my voice? I don't know how to find my voice. Like, how does one do that? And so I wanted to kind of go over a few little things of what helped me to find my voice. So the first thing that I noticed when it came to finding my voice, first of all, there was something. I've been working on myself for a long time. I recognize that even as a professional, personal development is critical because you can be a professional and you can totally have a bad attitude, a bad brand, and all of that. And so, no, we don't want that. As a professional, I want to be excellent in all of the different areas that I should be excellent in. And so when I start really searching and seeking, I talked about a long time ago, self-discovery, self-manifestation, and self-release. So it started with me discovering who I was. Who am I really? And what is it that I believe that I want to contribute to humanity? I actually went into prayer and I asked God, why were you motivated to create me, to send me here to the earth realm? So that ask that I had began to start manifesting as I start paying attention to the different things that were drawing me, that were making me, like Simon T. Bailey said, come alive. And so what I start doing is I start just like I got, you know how they say that if you want to be like this great speaker, then get mentored by a great speaker. You know, if you want to be this big guru, connect with somebody that's doing what you're doing. Just like my husband, he loves the stock market and he absolutely loves Jesse Livermore. So he has been a student of Jesse Livermore for years. And so he had to connect with his content, even though he's gone. He's still a mentor of old that is in the books. And so he's learned so much from that particular person. Same thing, like we were very involved in ministry. So we submitted our vision under another person's vision, the visionary. And then we began to start helping out there. And then our skills start manifesting and our gifting start emerging. And I mean, just wonderful things start happening. That's where I was able to practice speaking and things like that. Not that I wanted to, but I got rid of the shyness and then I stepped into my boldness and found my voice and started doing that. So what I did in doing that was I began to start noticing what I naturally am gravitating toward talking about. So number one, notice what you are naturally talking about all the time. I mean, just notice your conversation because what I notice is, man, Charlene, everybody would be telling me that you keep talking about vision. You keep talking about purpose. You keep talking about finding your voice. You keep talking about finding my unique vision and working on a united vision. So people were telling me that. And then I start just taking notes of the things that I was noticing. Like I was not trying to inspire people. I was not trying to encourage. It just happened naturally because my passion preceded me and it just started flowing out of my mouth. So, well, that's one thing that I want you to do. I want you to really notice your conversations. Now, I'm not talking about those conversations that don't matter. I'm talking about conversations that you began to notice that you keep on talking about all the time. Before you know it, you're like, okay, here we go again. Like I have my stylist, my beautician. Her name is Carla. I'm going to have her on here one day. But every time I came to her shop, she would be talking about wellness, and I would tell her, okay, I got this issue right here. And she would say, oh, take this, this, and this, and this. I mean, like literally every time she would have an answer for something that people in the shop were saying, like if they were dealing with some issues when it came to wellness and things like that, she had an answer for it every time. And then one day I was like, Carla, every time someone asks you a question about this particular thing, you begin to start giving them an answer. And the answer is like powerful. Did you notice that? And she just was like, I hadn't really noticed that. But that is what I'm talking about. Notice those conversations that you're having. And then somebody may have to tell you that, you know what, Charlene, you are such an inspiration. Somebody might have to tell you, you know what, you really encouraged me. Oh, you know what, you are so detail oriented. Thank you so much for your organizational skills. You know, whatever that is, people start noticing your superpower before you sometimes start noticing it. And so the second thing, what topics, what things give you energy and make you light up? I like how my recent guest, Simon T. Bailey, he said, what makes you come alive? I absolutely love that. When he said that, I was like, oh my gosh, that is so right. But really, what makes you light up? What gives you passion? Like, what is it that you can do all the time and not even be concerned about it? I can encourage people. I can inspire people 24/7. Like, I like to make it where people they move from loss of hope to being hopeful again. And it feels so amazing when I can do that. So what makes you light up? What topics make you light up? Like if you told me to talk about a certain topic that I had no passion about, I probably wouldn't do that good with it. But give me a topic when it comes to my passion, and you cannot shut Charlene up. So you have to find out what that is for you. What topic makes you really energized and it makes you like really passionate and you want to talk about it all the time. That is my husband with the stock market. I'm telling you that now. So what about the third one? Have you gained the clarity yet about who you are? Because when you find your passion, then you usually see that your voice is going to resonate with your passion. Now, I'm not saying that everybody has to speak. I'm talking about even finding your voice when it's time for you to disrupt a process, disrupt something that you see is not right, some kind of invention that needs to be had. You still have to talk about that. That's what I'm talking about, like finding out that thing that you're supposed to impact. Because once you find out that, okay, this process right here is not good, you have to have the courage to speak up, right? So make sure that you gain clarity of what it is specifically that you are supposed to be doing. You have to, bottom lines, find out, who am I? And what am I supposed to do about this particular thing right here? And then what about standing on top of your story? Now, you found your voice. I'm kind of advancing a little bit. You found your voice, and now you're afraid to share it because of why? Why are you afraid to share it? Because of all of those self-limiting beliefs. I'm going to be afraid of what somebody's going to think about me. When you are ready to share your voice and share your story, you are not going to be concerned about anybody else. You have got to get that out. It's almost like when a baby is carried full term. It's like that baby is coming out regardless of whether you're ready for it or not. That's how it felt for me when I finally began to start speaking up. I began to start speaking up and sharing my message, regardless of how uncomfortable I felt, because that was a big thing. Because, you know, there's a I think it's a statistic even that I think more people would rather die a painful death than to get in front of people and speak. And that was not me. I was like, I get energized when I get in front of a crowd, when we're like, vibing and I'm sharing information or inspiring people and feeling that connection. That energizes me. So you have to find out what that particular thing is for you. And like I said, when you do find that thing or your story, if there's still wounding and there's still pain and all of that in the story, maybe it's not quite time for you to bring that out, to allow that to come out yet. You need to get healed and whole, and then you're able to tell your story on top of it. And that's where the transformation comes in. The transformation comes in of me dealing with a situation, getting victory over the situation, and then releasing that situation out so that it can touch other lives that may be going through the same thing. So those are just a few little tips to help you to find your voice. I think the most important thing, however, of you finding your voice is you have to spend some time with you. You have to fall in love with yourself. Many of us are so fixated on what other people think of us. You've got to get to the place in your life where you fall in love with you. You don't need anybody's pat on the back. You don't need anybody to tell you or give you permission. You have to get to that place where you see your dream on the inside. You have your message crafted on the inside, and then you allow it to come out. This is so important because until you can get to that space, you're not really going to release your story. You're going to always say, well, nobody gave me a chance, or I'm scared, or I don't know if they're going to like what I say. It doesn't really matter. Your story is important and it matters to somebody. You just have to let your voice resound so that those people can find you. Because if you never allow your message to resound or your product to go out there or your business to start, how is it going to draw those people, those resources toward it? So very, very important for us to find out our message and then release it to our particular audience. So thank you so much for sharing with me today. I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do have a YouTube channel, just letting you guys know. I do, my recordings are taped, both audio and visual, because I love doing videos. So that's why I like the video podcast. So I would love to encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I really want to start doing actually live shows on my YouTube channel. So I look forward to talking to you. And what will you do when your moment chooses you? See you on the next episode.